Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Veteran Honor Guard, Charlie Barela back with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you so much for having us this morning.
Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us, and thank you for your service, sir. Obviously, you've come in from the Veterans Honor Guard. You've spent time serving our nation, and thank you for that service. We do appreciate
You're quite
it.
welcome. Mike, the Veterans Honor Guard was put together back about 1982,
Okay.
about 40-some years ago. And one of the organizers was Joe Cannon and some other guys that helped him put it together. They started out with service groups, veteran service groups,
Okay.
coming together and decided that we needed to honor our brother veterans.
Sure.
And what better way than to send them a farewell with a dignified service, to a military type of service, and send them off. And we are currently experiencing a shortage of personnel, and we're looking for volunteers. Again, about 2014, they opened up the McBride Cemetery, which
Sure.
is a veterans resting place. Thankfully, Douglas McBride was a general in the Army and a civic leader here in Roswell, and his family donated the property for the cemetery, which is adjacent to
South Park.
South Park Cemetery. Anyway, some of the guys got together and decided we needed to have our own resting place for our brother veterans. And they put together this McBride Cemetery. And some of those guys was Ray Willis, Bert Eldridge, Daryl Bethany, Anderson Bethany Funeral Home, John Taylor, and, of course, Mrs. Sue Hanson McBride. Those people were instrumental in landing this cemetery. And we have started using it around 2014. And it is going to be a gorgeous place. Eventually, it's going to grow. And it's already a nice place to be. It's very serene, very peaceful
Sure.
Looking place. So this is where our veterans have a choice of there or at South Park. And, of course, there's other cemeteries they sure can use.
Sure.
Anyway, we...
When there's veterans pass on, the Veterans Honor Guard is there to
yes.
to give them the proper.
That's our job, is to give them a proper send-off.
Yeah.
And try to make the service as dignified and proper and as military as we can.
Yeah.
The Veterans Organization, the Honor Guard, represents all the service clubs, veteran service clubs here in Travis County, American Legion, Post 2861.
Yeah.
Disabled American Veterans, members of the Order of the Purple Heart, Marine Corps League, and of course all the veterans and POWs and MIAs. We represent all of them.
Sure. You guys also help out with some of the ceremonies and things, not just funeral ceremonies, but if there's like occasionally like a Gold Star or family retirement or flag retirement, those types of ceremony, anything that's honoring our military and those styles, you guys also participate in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We do memorial services for our veterans that have passed in the past. We also do, I mentioned Gold Star mothers. We try to honor our veterans as best as we can, and we can participate in posting colors for those occasions honoring veterans, such as Veterans Day, so forth, Flag Day, those things that require some kind of military attention.
Sure, show them proper respect.
We try to respect our veterans as well as we can. One thing that we should note is that Travis County has approximately 5,000 veterans here in Travis County. That's a lot of folks. It's a lot of people that live here. And we are asking our veteran friends to consider joining us and helping us do this properly.
Sure.
The only thing that you're required to have to join our organization is you must own a DD-214.
Okay.
Which is, of course, the official
That's your official
discharge.
separation
And it
paperwork.
must say that it was an honorable discharge.
Gotcha.
We serve under the auspices of the Department of Defense, regulated by policy by them.
Okay.
And so through the DOD back to the state and service officers and to us,
Okay.
all veterans from all services are eligible to become members of the Honor Guard,
Okay.
regardless of rank or MOS. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't understand is that we're open for male or female veterans.
Okay. And I'm thinking also, because I'm a part of American Legion, and rank, your military rank is not of relevance in the Honor Guard.
Exactly.
Just because you're a general in the military, you might just be a normal guy in the Honor Guard. You could have someone that had one stripe or something that's kind of in charge of the situation.
What we do, let the guys do in our uniforms is they can display the rank they finished out with.
Okay.
And that's just to honor their rank and their ranking.
Show people
if
that
they want to.
Yeah, that they're.
It's optional.
Be proud of your service too. Absolutely.
Yes. And we let them show some brass of their service, for example, armor.
But as far as
artillery.
being in charge, there is no hierarchy by your military rank.
And we encourage all veterans, male, female, to think about joining us, helping us. Also, one thing that we discovered is that the active National Guard or reservists that are serving currently are eligible for membership.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and that's really something we discovered lately. And talked to John Taylor. He's told me that they had relaxed the thing a little bit in active National Guard or reservists that are attending drills and actively engaged can serve.
Good.
If they have the time.
I'm glad to hear that because you probably are very well at this. Our guardsmen, depending on what's going on, a lot of times they're the ones that are sent to the combat, depending on the situation. So, you know what? They've earned their right to come and do these things as well. Absolutely.
They are active. In my opinion, they're active service. They're ready to go. If the event came up, they would probably be called to serve.
You're right, man.
One of the things that we're attempting to do with increasing our membership and our volunteers is we would like to develop a fire team, which is to present a 21-gun salute, the traditional salute to the departing veteran. And we're going to need to have about 4 or 5 guys to do that with, or personnel. We have the equipment. We have everything we need.
Okay, just need the people.
Yes, they need the bodies.
Okay.
And one of the things that...
And they do with the training, obviously.
I want to emphasize is the fact that you're a volunteer, so we don't frown on you not being there when we need you. You're a volunteer, and we operate under that premise that you got other obligations.
If your availability is an hour a week or a day a week or whatever it is, we are thankful for whatever it is you able to give us.
So you're not... you don't have to be there at every event.
Gotcha. Now you can if you want, but you're not obligated.
Well, the other thing is that an example. Last year, we only did 44 funerals. So think about it. That's less than one a week.
Yeah.
So that really gives you a little time in between and rest, and then you can if you're busy or you have other priorities, fine. You can take care of that.
But the idea would be is you got a pool of veterans.
Absolutely.
Where at any given time there's a team available to go conduct a ceremony or something like that. Yeah.
And we like I said, we don't frown on that. We understand that, and we appreciate the fact that you're there when you can be there. So I'm encouraging our veterans to consider coming and helping us and being part of our plan. The other thing that they need to know is that we furnish the uniforms.
Okay.
Absolutely. They're not out any money.
Okay.
The only time they're going to be thinking about a little time.
Okay.
And,
so we're just asking for your service, not even to chip in the money to help cover the cost of the uniform.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
The other thing is that once in a while we're invited for out-of-town funerals. For example, we've been to Artesia for a couple of events over there.
Okay. Kind of serving all of Southeast New Mexico from time to time.
We've been to up to Kenna, Riverside. Kinney.
Okay.
The guys have been over there, and then they've been to that cemetery now that is a state cemetery in Fort Stanton.
Oh yeah. The old the Merchant Marine, the
Yes,
military.
that is
Yeah.
now designated state cemetery.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. If you're a veteran, you can be buried there now.
So anyway, we're a little bit versatile, and we like the people to know that we a lot of times we do these things not so often. Most of the time, we're regulated to McBride Funeral Cemetery, and we have the help of the local funeral homes. Are very, very good with us. We work hand in hand with them.
Sure. Because a lot of times they're planning the funeral event, and so to incorporate you guys, you work with the funeral directors.
Yes,
and so
the way it works, Mike, is when the family suffers the loss of our veteran, and they talk to the funeral home will offer them the option of having a ceremony performed by the honor guard, and the family decides they want to have the decedent, with the funeral service. They'll tell the director of the funeral home. The funeral home, in turn, will pick up the DD-214, which is very essential. This is a big part of this thing.
every veteran knows
we have to have a DD-214 with an honorable discharge on it, or a paper stating that they were honorable discharge. Sometimes the old guys back before the 50s don't have DD-214s. They got just discharge papers.
Gotcha.
And that's useful. We can do that.
Sure.
Okay, then the funeral home then will contact us, and out of that we'll construct a eulogy.
Okay.
And then we put a narrative to it, and then we'll recite the facts of the service of this decedent at the funeral service. That's what we do. Then we have a farewell. Then, of course, we have the flag folding presentation, and then we have taps.
Gotcha.
We are so fortunate that we have two excellent buglers.
That's amazing, because they're hard to come by.
Yes,
Good ones.
they are. Anymore. Live buglers are hard to come by.
They are very hard to come by.
We have teams that come out of the military service, the Marines, Navy, Army, wherever they come from, and they always bring a electronic bugle. They don't even have,
because they're hard to get a bugler that's still.
So we're Roswell. We're very, very fortunate. Louis Brady and Jake Trujillo are old time trumpet players, and they perform what they call the silver taps, which is an echo type thing.
Oh, I got you.
And,
yeah, it's beautiful if you ever hear
it really
one.
lends a lot of credence to the
Sets the
service.
tone. You're right.
So we're real proud of them, and they have actually been serving probably longer than most all the guys there now. They've been at it for several years.
Well, and that's why you're here today. You need some young blood to come in and be a part of the ranks here.
Absolutely.
So like if you're a veteran that served honorably, like imagine you probably, because obviously there's probably not a lot of World War II vets that are able to do this. Your Vietnam vets are getting a little long in the tooth now. So it's time for our Gulf War and on to kind of step up here and fill the mantle here and work with our guys here to kind of keep that tradition going and keep the young learn from the veterans, the older. That's just how life is, and
just the way
we need
and you're exactly right, Mike. We're getting older, and we need some young guys in there, and guys that want to carry the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It's an absolute beautiful tradition, and we need to follow through with it. We need to maintain it. We need to get some of these guys in here.
It's the military, unless you, and it's hard to understand unless you served in the military. It's that, and everybody in the military. I don't care if you've never met that person in your whole life. Once you know they're in the military or served, there's just an instant connection, and you kind of get the idea of the cut of that person's jib just by the fact that they served in the United States Armed Forces, and that connection is the connection that makes these events so special to us.
Yes, we have an old saying. Actually, what we are is we're veterans serving veterans, and we always say they stood for us, and we must stand for them.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we honor our departed veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and we owe them respect. They did their sacrifice, and we need to do a little bit of sacrifice on our part and make sure they get a dignified send-off.
Absolutely. And another thing I really love about these ceremonies is it's a reminder to the young. When our veterans, when we get older and longer in the tooth, you know, the young look at you a different way than you would when you're younger and things. And what I mean by that is not trying to, but they don't realize the struggles, the things that person went through, and it's easy to have an image of someone because you didn't know them in their younger days and things like that. And so I think these ceremonies remind the younger folks, no, this person did some amazing things for our country, and it takes these kind of people for the next generation to thrive and do these kind of things. And so we need your generation to step up and do these types of things.
Absolutely.
So your children can enjoy the same things that you're enjoying right now. And I think these ceremonies, even though we're celebrating the life of someone, is also a reminder that we all need to pick up that mantle and do the same thing.
Absolutely. You know, the thing is that their sacrifice is the reason we're a free nation today. And the reason that we can enjoy the things that we do because of those folks that gave all for our freedom. And we need to recognize that, and we need to understand that these veterans did a sacrifice by just joining the service. They didn't go to combat. Mm-hmm. They were away from their families. They drilled, they practiced, they stayed up nights.
They were doing their job so we didn't have to go to combat.
There you go.
Yep.
And so these guys deserve an honor of some sort. Mm-hmm. And this is the way we honor them, is to give them a dignified service that means something to the families. And actually, the service is for the family, to help them cope with their loss and to let them know that we appreciated their service. Mm-hmm. And those families, some of those families also sacrificed as well as a veteran.
Ask a military spouse and see if they're serving, and they'll tell you absolutely.
One of those ladies, families that did without while the man was off in uniform. Mm-hmm. And you'll realize that there was a sacrifice all the way around.
They're the ones keeping the home fires going and keeping the family unit together, whether it's the mom or the dad in this day and age. They're the ones that are they're the ones that are doing it.
How many ladies do we have serving today that before we didn't? And they're doing a very, very good job. Excellent. Yeah. We've had some ladies in our squad. We got a couple now, one, but and they did their jobs. They served. They went overseas and they did everything. And so I'm in awe of them because they did what a lot of guys haven't done.
Sure. They're pushing envelopes and serving their country at the same time.
Yeah, well, they did.
Yeah,
and some of them actually now they're in combat,
Oh, yeah. I was, matter of fact, speaking of females in the military, one of the stories that I read, it was about a year or two ago, a lady who's a F-16 pilot. And she was part of the alert squadrons during 9/11. And she was this close to being the one that they may have shot down that plane in Pennsylvania. She was on that group, and they were about ready to shoot it down till they realized that the passengers had taken over the plane again, and they weren't going to. But she was talking about that moment where she was like, I'm about to blow up civilians, and talk about her experience in combat and all of that. And it's an amazing story. She just happened to be a female pilot, but you say that and serving in combat.
Those are the real heroes, boy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Those guys that came that close to annihilating a whole bunch of people in the name of freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, we appreciate everybody's service. And again, one of the things I need to leave with our audience, Mike, is they can call me. My name is Charlie Barela, 626-3157. That's my cell number. You may call me there, and I'll be glad to visit with you about volunteering with us, coming to help us. Also, if you know somebody that can volunteer but is not listening to this program,
spread the word.
They can. Have them call any funeral home here in Roswell.
Okay.
Any one of the three, Anderson, Bethany, Ballards, or Lagrones. They have our numbers.
Gotcha.
And they can call them and get our phone numbers. And they've been told to release our number to the public if you need to talk to us about this issues or any issue concerning a funeral.
Absolutely. And like you said, if you're a family as a military that has passed away here, again, you contact the funeral homes. They will get in touch to the Chaves County the Roswell Veterans.
And one last word about DD-214s, Mike. Veterans, please let your family know where it is. So many times they cannot find them. They'll call and say, we would like to have a funeral, but we can't find the DD-214. And it takes days to get one, and sometimes months.
But just a suggestion, what I do with mine, I've made copies. I've actually went and made about 10, 15 copies of it. And my wife and I, we have, and I'm sure most people have, something along similar, like our port and file cabinet, and we have our files you keep in a safe place, and you keep things like your mortgage and insurance papers and tax documents. And I have a folder in there called military, and there's my DD-214s. And because every once in a while, like you got a VA loan or you do something, you got to pull one out of those for a loan, or for you buy a car or something. Sometimes you get discount when you pull those out, or you other services that you're entitled to. You got to use that. But yeah, they're very hard to get once you've lost it. Very, very hard to get. So you behoove you to your copy, make a bunch of copies and keep them safe in a central location. That because anytime you need assistance that regards your veteran service, they're going to want a copy of that. And obviously, too, when you pass away and they're handling all of your affairs, there's going to be a lot of people that want not only your death certificate, but your DD-214.
Yes, I'll tell you, another thing they might do is that we're very fortunate to have here in Travis County. We have a wonderful Veteran Service Office.
Yes.
Danielle Thompson and Jim Cassidy and them down there do a wonderful job. They really go all out to try to accommodate our veterans. I know that Danielle has gotten some DD-214s for us that we couldn't access, and there's copies. If you've been to the Veterans Hospital, there's a copy up there.
Yeah.
And you keep that in mind, that you can call them or contact them and try to get a copy from them. If you can, just absolutely can't find one. There's one place you go ahead.
But if you got yours, hold on to it, make copies of it, keep it safe, and maybe keep the original at home and just give everybody copies when they ask for them.
Keep it with your important papers, because it's going to come to play someday.
It is your golden ticket for many things.
Absolutely.
So, again, if anybody has any questions or wants to learn more information or come be a part of the Roswell Veterans Honor Guard, you can reach Charlie here at 575-626-3157. Again, that's 575-626-3157. Call us if you don't remember that number. I'll make sure you get it there. Or, like you said, you can reach out to any of our funeral homes. They have this information handy, too, if you're driving around and don't happen to have a place where you can write this down. But please consider this. And all you youngins, maybe all you folks that are just got out of military, maybe did your 4 or did your 20, and you're looking to get involved in the community and kind of, I know that transition when you get out of the military, whether you did 4 years or 24 years, that there's that transition period and you're getting settled in your home, whether it's a new place or where your last duty station is or wherever it is. If Roswell's that place, we're looking for some veterans to come be a part. Come and while you're looking at the Veterans Honor Guard too, if you're looking for other veterans things to get involved with, that's your window into that, because we can point you out to, like you said, for VA services and everything else. Every veterans group in our community, I don't care if it's the Honor Guard or our VFW or American Legion Post or any of those kind of things, all have the same end game of looking out for our veterans and making sure at the very minimum they have access to all that information that they can utilize to get their benefits or do anything they need to make their lives a little bit easier. So.
Mark, thank you so much for having us.
Anytime, Charlie.
Appreciate your help.
And maybe we can set you up for at least a couple times a year coming in and just saying, hey, we're here, come see us. And
we'd love to do that. Thank you so much.
Maybe even, it'd be even kind of cool one time is maybe come in uniform, everything, and show the civilians what one looks like.
Okay, we can do that. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a great week. Don't work too hard, all right? Very good. Thank you, sir. It is 9:46.